Hello everyone. Today's video is all about how to spot a shell pack. But first, we need to discuss what is a shell pack and why you should care. And for me, there is no better person to discuss this topic than Kat, who has lost her primary due to AIPAC's meddling. So, without further ado, here is Kat explaining what is a shell pack and why you should care.
AIPAC is infiltrating American primary elections even more than you might think. And over the course of my primary, AIPAC dumped more than $5 million into my race. But you wouldn't know that by watching their ads.
Kat Abu-Ghazaleh says she's a progressive champion. But what do we really know about Kat? Who is the real Kat Abu-Ghazaleh? We don't really know.
Chicago Progressive Partnership. Sounds like a nice string of words, right? They probably support left-leaning foreign policy, an arms embargo of Israel's military, an end to the war in Iran. Nope, it's AIPAC. AIPAC's brand has become so politically toxic that even they admit it. So rather than putting their own names on their own attack ads, they create a series of neutral-sounding shell packs, like Elect Chicago Women and Affordable Chicago Now, all of which serve as vessels for AIPAC's ad buys. And as Politico noted, their ads focus on everything except Israel. It's almost like genocide is unpopular, but you need to get ready to see this all across the country, not just in my race. So far this season, AIPAC has spent tens of millions of dollars. $22 million in Illinois, $2 million in New Jersey, and another $500,000 to defeat Nida Alam in North Carolina, despite her opponent pledging not to take any more AIPAC money. But no matter what state, all of AIPAC's ads, no matter what form they take, operate under generic names to disguise the organization's true intentions. It's like whack-a-mole trying to find these guys. And AIPAC is getting so desperate and so dishonest that they are inventing new ways to deceive you. In my race, AIPAC created and aired positive ads for one of my progressive opponents without her consent, hoping that it would take votes away from me. Just think about this for a second. AIPAC using their resources to create positive ads for a Muslim woman who has denounced Israel's war crimes? That's nuts. But the deceit isn't just in the names of these organizations, it's also in the content of the ads themselves. AIPAC creates some of the most egregiously dishonest ads in politics, which is saying something. They painted Junaid Ahmed as Elon Musk's best friend for owning some Tesla stocks years ago. And as for me, AIPAC's big juicy scoop was an op-ed I wrote in my now defunct high school newspaper when I was 16. But a spokesperson for AIPAC actually bragged about their deceitful strategies, saying we will use every tool in the toolbox to get the best possible pro-Israel results. Which makes me wonder, if you have to trick the American people into voting for your guy, and if you'll support any candidate as long as they sign a blank check to Israel, maybe you're not as pro-democracy or pro-America as you pretend to be.
So let's take a closer look at Elect Chicago Women and Affordable Chicago Now. Elect Chicago Women takes you here. As you can see, there's pretty much nothing on this page. And this is Affordable Chicago Now. It's pretty much an empty page. This is Chicago Progressive Partnership. The first part is beautifully worded, but for the most part, nothing is here. When it comes to commercials, you can't believe what you see. You need to know who is saying it and why they are saying it. During the process of making this video, I have found another shell pack. However, they hate AIPAC. This is an anti-AIPAC shell pack, but it's still a shell pack nevertheless. According to the Jewish Telegraph Agency, American Priorities is led by Hannah, a strategist who worked on Bernie Sanders' 2020 presidential campaign. And according to the FEC, one of its major donors is the American Committee for Middle East Rights. And this is their page. The part that irks me about them is that they seem to desire to do the exact same thing that AIPAC does. Fight fire with fire. However, I don't like the idea of the American people being manipulated. I believe in transparency. And when AIPAC eventually finds out about this, they're going to have a field day with this. I prefer the approach of Citizens Against AIPAC Corruption As you can see, they tried to be as transparent as possible. And according to the FEC, the PAC is mostly grassroots. This has been Ren. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.